Welcome back. This is the second part of the first reading. If you are following from the first video, we are talking about somebody here in the collective who is being guided from source, from spirit, from the creator, not to be afraid, not to get engulfed in severe cycles of anxiety and depression, because they are capable of being a leader and they have so much more work to do in their lives. But they must change their perspective on how they've been approaching their issues. And this is where the Hanged Man card comes in. So with the number 5 energy, again, this is somebody who is capable of being extremely introspective. They're a philosopher. This is somebody who likes to look at the world in a big kind of perspective and point of view. But it feels as if they've had a lot of enemies along the way. And you see that in the 5 of Grains with the bleeding woman here. She has all these people who have ostracized her from her religious community. They have spoken badly about her. They have picked on her, and all she had was a physical ailment that was out of her control. And she eventually pulls herself out of this situation by taking a pause in her life and changing her point of view. In the original Rider-Waite series, you see a hanged man hanging upside down with a halo around his head, and this is suggesting that regardless of who is against this person, they are taking the moment while being persecuted or wrongfully spoken to reconsider their situation and figure out a way out, which might require some time. So whomever this reading is about, your past was a period of waiting, of suffering, of contemplating, and of thinking. And because number 5, which resonates strongly with this reading, and the planet Mercury, communication, networking, thinking, analyzing, writing, language, speaking, have a great impact on the person that this reading revolves around, I'm not surprised that with the Hanged Man, the angelic energy associated with this card is Nel KL, or I think it's Nulahe, if I'm correct. I had to write this down. Yeah, Nulaha. Anyways, this is the 21st name of God. Angels in Kabbalistic theory are aspects of God. Either way, some claim that this is a fallen angel or just a protective entity. But while going through this hanged man period in one's life, this angel promotes learning, teaching, encourages intellectual strength, logic, mathematics, while protecting the person involved against malevolent spirits, bad spirits, and helps to remove bad gossip and curses. So we all talk about things concerning the evil eye, and it's quite possible that while undergoing extreme poverty, isolation, and illness, there has been a place in your life where people have been wrongfully persecuting you, speaking badly about you, but you have intelligently taken this time in order to rethink the situation, while there are good energies around you protecting you from these malevolent people, while you try to figure out the next phase in your life. And then we have the Knight of Candles, which is very encouraging. This could be a person coming into your life to assist you, and they're not assisting you in solving your problems, but they're giving you the strength to utilize and harness your leadership skills and your powerful parts of your personality in order to take on the job and task at hand. This is Spirit's moment of intervention to encourage you not to be afraid and to carry out what it is that you must carry out for your personal life purpose. Because during the Hanged Man phase, you are sitting back and you are contemplating what your inner purpose is, which resonates strongly again with the number 5. So you've got the Knight of Candles here. This is the moment where you take charge. You might go on a journey, you might travel. Either way, you are passionate and inspired to move forward. This is when everything falls into place. Your strength, your charisma, your intellectual mind, your pursuits, your learning, your ability to teach and guide others. The The Knight of Candles in this reading is associated with Joshua, when God encourages Joshua to be strong in the face of fear. And he does this, and he mobilizes himself to lead the Israelites over the Jordan River into Canaan. And as a result, we receive the 10 of Chalices. So, chalices and cups always have originally had a lot to do with religious representatives in medieval society, connection to the divine, connection to source, to God, to angelic presences, etc. So when the person that this reading resonates with pulls themselves up out of this period of illness, sickness, and depression, they move forward and they find many blessings, which is something that is promised to them. But when in this energy, they feel very confident, okay? The 5 is associated with the Hierophant. So this person gets an opportunity to become a leader, not just a warring leader, not just an inspirational leader that charges into battle and leads the people to safety, but this becomes somebody who people go to for advice, for learning, for spiritual guidance, for purification, and for divine wisdom. It is very important to this person that they fulfill this role. They're philosophical in nature. They have a lot of wisdom and information to give. But sometimes with a person that resonates with the number 5 energy, when they feel as if life has gotten mundane, they kind of sit back and question their existence and what it is that they should be doing, and if they're really serving their higher purpose. Comfort might breed a little bit of stagnation here. In addition to that, because they went through such an extreme period of suffering and contemplation, and then they had to take charge in their lives for some reason, they might feel that this current situation of blessings is enabling them to relax, rest, and seek reprieve. But they also might feel slightly burned out from the demands of the life that they create for themselves. And as a result, they go into a quiet place. And this quiet place can enable them to think about life, to contemplate life, to figure out what's next for themselves. Because the number 5 resonates with people who are philosophical in nature. But because of the number 5's energy, this is a person who can easily start becoming depressed again. And if you notice, this card is looking towards the left. So this suggests to me that whomever this reading resonates with, once you get to a certain point of blessings and calmness, you start reflecting on the past, you pull back, and it's almost as if you may have encountered someone from your past that triggers old memories, or someone from the aspects of your life where things were pretty bad and sad and painful, comes into the mix, and they start casting their negativity on you again. And this throws you from a point of resting and reflection and analyzing life to a period of depression, fear, and anxiety where you just don't want to move forward. In the 4 of Swords or feathers in this tarot deck, we have a representation of Elijah's retreat into silence. And he does this because after proving that the Israelite God is more powerful than the paganistic god of Baal, Jezebel, I think her name was Jezebel, casts this horrible shadow upon him and threatens his life, and he goes into the cave to hide. He becomes very afraid yet again. So whomever this reading is about, you take a moment of rest and solitude for whatever your reasons we discussed, and then all of a sudden you get stuck again because you've got this ability to fall into depression and anxiety. And this is when Spirit, Creator, the source comes in and encourages you yet again not to be afraid. And that's when we get this angel, Hel, the god of Trinity, or Ha. So if you are this person, understand that there is an energy around you, a divine one, that wants to help improve your feelings of isolation and loneliness. Someone who wants to alleviate your anxiety and remind you that you have a higher purpose, a purpose of peace. So be positive and don't be afraid.